On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony plays that one game he's been playing, Ethan breaks into houses, and Shannon goes on a quest. We talk about some of the week's biggest news and get into a discussion about the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, we got Ethan.
Hey.
What's up, sir?
Nothing.
So, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep.
He's blue.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that later.
Why's he got to be blue? I mean, what is he sad? What's he got to be sad about?
I mean, he may be. And that is why he's blue. Because of the stuff we've seen this week, he may be very sad. I don't know.
Oh.
So, we'll talk about that a little later in the show. Okay. Also joining us this week, we've got Shannon.
He is a sad, strange little hedgehog.
He's a sad something. I don't know that I'd call that thing a hedgehog.
Okay. He's an anthropomorphic blob.
Creature.
Blue furry thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to think about that. So, well, all right, we are getting closer and closer to Christmas. We're, a little over a week away now.
Yep.
It's crazy. The year is almost over.
Indeed it is.
But that means that pretty soon we have to start talking about predictions.
Oh.
Not today. We'll get into that in the next couple of weeks. We'll be doing some end-of-the-year shows for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So
I predict that. I forgot about that.
You got a little bit of time to get those predictions ready.
I guess.
So, if I had the schedule pulled up, I could tell everybody what shows are going on when, but I have lost the schedule, so can't do that. Next week we'll be doing we'll just be doing a year in review kind of wrap up thing, talking about the biggest news stories of the entire year, and any other just end of the year stuff, and then New Year's Eve, we'll be doing Game of the Year talk. So be ready for that. And then the very first episode of January, we will do our 2019 predictions. So, and I think 2019 is going to be a very interesting year.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the first full week there.
So, yes, that's going to be very interesting. So get ready for that. But right now, we got to talk about stuff that we've been doing in December. So Shannon, what have you been playing this week?
Let me hurry up and close this PlayStation Network link.
Yeah, quit buying stuff.
The holiday sales, they're so good.
Well, that's true. They are. How many of those games that you would buy are you actually going to play, though?
I would like to hope that I will play them all. 100-Foot Robot Golf is $2. Burnout Paradise Remastered is $6. There's a bunch of DLC for everybody's golf on sale. I mean, come on. The hottest of deals. The hottest of deals.
Warframe is still available for free.
Very true.
Indeed.
Okay, so this week aside from continuing to play Smash Brothers, I guess I should probably touch on Smash a little bit, or are we going to have a Smash check-in post everybody's conversation?
I mean, we can. I haven't been playing Smash, but...
Oh. Okay. Well, then, let's talk about this other game that I started playing finally. Dragon Quest XI.
Can you believe I still have not played that game?
No, I cannot. because you have been Mr. Dragon Quest for as long as I have ever known you.
No, absolutely. I've played just about everything, but I am still holding out hope that we are going to get that Switch version. I think, though, I'm going to have to break down and actually just play it on the PS4.
I
One of
don't
us.
know what's happening with the Switch version because I didn't even know it was a thing until after I bought the PS4 version and you mentioned it.
It's still supposed to be coming, but it could take a while, they said.
Wasn't this the one with the PS4 and the 3DS version?
Yes.
In a bundle in Japan or something?
Yes. You got both. You got both the PS4 and the 3DS version in one package.
And correct me if I'm
we
wrong.
didn't get over here.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't that have like some awkward cross-save feature?
I believe it does.
That sounds familiar, yes.
I know you can jump back and forth because the games are the 3DS and the PS4 version of these games are completely identical.
Yeah, they're the same
only
game.
thing that changes is the graphics.
Okay.
So,
And I really wanted to play the top-down version of that, but they've basically canceled. Square Enix has basically canceled the 3DS version over here from everything that I've heard.
curse you!
Thanks, Reggie.
So,
I'm blaming him because Nintendo. Why not?
but yeah, I think I'm definitely, especially because we don't know when we're getting that Switch version. I'm just gonna have to get the PS4 version.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I
Do it.
I'm kind of with Ethan on this. All right. So I'm about 3.5 to 4 hours in to this game, so I've just barely scratched the surface.
You only got 180 to go.
Oh, I know. I know this from everything I've come to gather. This game is insanely big. Like the last 100-hour game I played, or the last 100-hour RPG I played, was Persona 5, and I have a feeling this is going to be close to double that time.
It is not uncommon for a Dragon Quest game, the main story to go 60, 70, 80 hours.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Most RPGs like that, they'll top out 30, 40 if you just play through the quest, and then there's 100 hours of additional stuff that you can do.
Hmm.
But with Dragon Quest games, they're like, you're playing the story and you're playing everything. I don't care.
Yeah, I am finding myself kind of exploring every little nook and cranny in this game. So it's worth pointing out that this is the first Dragon Quest game I have played. I don't know if that really matters. Tony, I have heard you speak very highly of the series, and I was watching some Let's Plays of the Dragon Quest, I think, 8.
Dragon Quest 8 is really good.
On 3DS.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did like a 3DS remake on Dragon Quest 8, and I was watching a bunch of Let's Plays, and then it kind of like my peak in interest coincided right along with the release of this game, and then after it came out, I just waited a couple months to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that this is the most chill RPG I've ever started ever. Normally, when you start an RPG especially a Japanese RPG, when you start a game, you are punched in the face with the world in calamity or some big massive thing that you have to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this game at all.
No, it's very common for those games to take well over an hour to even get to where you really control the character.
I don't really have a problem with it though. Like it feels. So I've had 2 sittings with it. One of them was right before bedtime the other day, and the other was just a couple hours before we sat down to record. And both sittings felt like reading a bedtime story. Mm-hmm. And I don't, I'm not saying that as a cut down to the game, because it's not like the game is putting me to sleep, but it has that that kind of whimsical way of feeding you just a little bit more so you can get just an hour or 2 of play out of it and feel satisfied.
Yeah. Now, there are a lot of moments in Dragon Quest where they do that, where you'll have some big, heavy action scene, and when things get heavy, they get real heavy in that game. But then they immediately follow that with, okay, here's 20, 25, 30 minutes of cooldown that you can come down from that a little bit, have a break before things start to get real again.
I'm kind of having a really good feel on the pacing, and I'm off work for the next 4 weeks as we are on baby watch. I have a feeling that this will be an easy game to sit down and play while I am rocking our new daughter to sleep.
Yeah.
Or it feels like a good chill game.
It'll be a very good rocking the baby to sleep kind of game.
Okay.
That for me was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
Okay.
But this too, because this the oldest of old school RPGs. Dragon Quest is, they always have been. And so it's button presses on menus, and they try to make it a little more cinematic now. They have in the last few games. I don't know about 11 and exactly what the battle system is like.
So here, let me answer that. You have a free roam battle system, or you could just turn that off. If you don't like the free roam battle system, you just go right back into whatever into the classic menu based, which was the very first thing I did.
Yeah, that's I think that's how you play Dragon Quest. It is the one series that has stayed sort of true to those. It almost feels like an NES game with HD visuals in some ways.
I'm also really fond of the way that you can outrun opponents on the overworld. Like, if you see a slime just kind of hopping around, you can literally dodge it and avoid the battle completely. And I know doing that kind of stuff will potentially put me in a very bad spot down the road, should I choose to continue that message or continue that plan of decision. Where was I going with that? Words fail me.
There are definitely going to be times where you're going to have to grind, so be prepared for that.
That's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm really enjoying the pacing. It feels good. The battles feel satisfying, but not too challenging. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to playing more and learning more about my origin as the reincarnation of the Luminary, whatever the heck that means. So, let's see what else. I would say the music is really good so far. From everything that I've heard, it's orchestrated. The translation seems to be done well so far from what I've heard and read. It's almost everything is voice acted, which was very surprising. Voice acted in like a British English.
They use British, yeah.
So I'm very much enjoying that. I also had a moment where I thought the 8-4 team that translates all the Monster Hunter games, I was 100% certain that they did the translation for this, because 20 minutes in, a character made a reference to me saving their bacon, which is a line that's in like every Monster Hunter ever from 8-4 doing the translations.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it. I'll definitely be spending plenty of time in Dragon Quest.
Oh,
Monster
you will.
Hunter, huh?
Dragon Quest. Yeah, that's it for me though.
Okay. Ethan?
I was thieving it up.
You were right before we started the show.
Because I had a mission I wanted to finish on there. I've been playing Thief Simulator. This is a $20 game on Steam. It might be on Good Old Games. I'm not 100% sure. And it's an open world. Well, not really open world. It's a free roam sandbox neighborhood that you can go and gather intel on people in the area, and then figure out their schedules and break into their houses and steal stuff, break stuff, take on requests that you take anonymously on the internet,
Mhm.
so you can make money and level up your thieving skills.
Hmm.
You can also get caught by the police, or they can be alerted and you have to run and hide. And the cops on the game are not the brightest.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You'll go break into a place. You can kind of, if you know the people living there, you know their routine and everything. You can see them through walls and just kind of skulk around the house, avoiding them, trying to be quiet, and opening and closing doors really slowly so you don't alert them as well.
Yeah, generally, if you're stealing stuff from people, you don't want them to know about it.
Right, but it's like the nice idea of I can press E to open or close a door, or I can hold it to close it slowly so it doesn't make noise.
Yeah. Until the very last second when it squeaks, and then you wish you had WD-40.
Well, they don't. It's done in such a way where they'll hear the door close and they get a little alerted, but as long as you're not constantly making noise, they kind of just, oh, maybe I'm just hearing things, or they basically ignore what you just did.
Mhm.
But if they see you, they panic, cops are on their way, and then I'm panicking because I'm trying to get out of the house.
And then you shoot everybody just like in Metal Gear Solid. And
I do not have a gun.
oh,
But there are people with guns on there, and they somehow are also cops that arrest you.
yet generally the cops do have guns.
Well, not even the cops. I mean, just like people in the houses will arrest you if they have a gun.
Um,
It's weird. It's just you're walking around and then they're just freeze. Okay.
sure. Yeah, every time I play a stealth game, it always ends up with me shooting everybody in the room.
Yeah, I don't think combat's a considered thing on this one. As much as I would like to have something like a knockout dart or something, this one puts a very huge emphasis on the stealth uh, aspect. I was about to
Yeah.
say option, but while it is optional, it is not completely ignorable.
Is there an option to just announce that you're in there to steal everybody's stuff?
If they have an alarm, or if you just want to run in front of them, yeah.
Just, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna steal your stuff. You're gonna let me. We'll have a good night.
Just kick in the door, grab the painting off the wall, and walk out with it.
That's right.
I could actually make money doing that. Hmm.
You should try that. See how well it works.
I just might get my car in the right position, like right up in front of the front door, open up the back. Yeah, I can make that work.
I want to see that.
You'll also you'll go online as looking for missions, and you buy your jobs to go and steal various items, or your intel on what people's schedules are. There's also another option to be a thug and go and send messages to people, such as look for when they're not home, break in and destroy their plates, break a toilet, destroy a sink, slash a painting, or steal the painting and sell it. Just kind of cool little things like that for side money on to buy more lockpicks and stuff. It's got a lot going for it. I'm still in the starting neighborhood, so I'm not getting into the heavily secured stuff just yet.
And then once you're finished with this game, you can move on to the Escapists, where you try to get out of jail.
I have that game. I've escaped a couple of times. That's a good game too.
It is.
Yeah.
My games usually just end up with people fighting in the gym. I never get out.
Mine usually ends up with me trying to max out all the stats and then say, all right, how do I get out of here? and then it's just trial and error trying to make copies of all the guards' keys.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thief Simulator, check that out on Steam. 8-Bit Ryan's the one I saw playing this originally. It looked really interesting, so probably give him his YouTube channel check out his YouTube channel if you want to see what the game looks like. I'll probably stream it on my own Twitch channel at some point as well.
Okay.
Tony, what have you possibly been playing that we already know about?
Well, I've been playing the only 2 games that I even care about anymore. So,
It's a little harsh.
Warframer or Brawlhalla, take your pick. I mean, I've been playing both of those, and that's all I've been playing this week.
Well, you did Warframe last week, so do
yeah,
Brawlhalla.
you and I played a little bit of Warframe this week. But mostly I put a bunch of time into Brawlhalla with Jake this week. We're still just about mostly every night we'll get in there and play a bunch of ranked 2v2 matches with people online. Most nights we do pretty okay. There's one night where we just kept going up against the same people. It was like there was nobody online playing the game. We just kept going up against the same duo. I think we lost like 4 matches in a row against them. And I was like, I am ready to be done with this because I am tired of losing to these same people. And Jake made me. Jake said, we're not done until we beat them. And we did finally beat them. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Quitting while you're on top. Got it.
Ethan, I think Tony is secretly 16 years old.
Why do you say that?
He's got a daughter older than that.
I know, but what happened?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's because he has a kid that's like.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. You Fortnite. I know you were and like.
Yeah, I'm over Fortnite. I tried to play Fortnite this week. The new creative stuff came out. I turned it on. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm that into Fortnite anymore.
It's because they removed his drive-in theater on there.
They did. But I also tried to play Realm Royale. I got into the beta for that this week, and I played a couple matches. I'm like, this is kind of better than Fortnite because I can hit people with swords, but this isn't very much fun to me anymore either.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Fortnite had a sword for a little bit.
They did, and it broke everything.
Then they got rid of it.
And they did. So, I think I'm kind of over the Battle Royale thing at this point. So, like I was talking to my wife earlier, she's like, yeah, your Fortnite thing actually only lasted a fortnight. So,
ooh.
Dang.
It lived up to its name. But yeah, other than, just Warframe and Brawlhalla, they're both fantastic games. I love them both. I've put $34 into this free-to-play fighting game now.
This is Brawlhalla?
This is Brawlhalla, yes.
Okay.
Because I downloaded the game, played, was doing the whole rotating the characters out. And, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. So I just bought the whole character roster. That was $20. And I think it's like 40 or 45 characters, which I thought was a pretty good deal.
It's better than wasting your money on V-Bucks.
Yeah, true. And with that, as you're playing, you unlock new colors for the characters, so you can, choose different colors for them and things like that. But then I also spent $14 this week. Thank you, Shannon, for the Christmas present. On some cosmetic stuff. So I bought a skin for my main, Queen Nye. I bought a skin for Jake's main, Val. And then had some extra just left over of their in-game currency. Bought a couple of the cheaper skins and a couple weapon skins. So I have put $34 into Brawlhalla. I think I'm done putting money into Brawlhalla, but I will continue to play the game for a very long time because I think it's a very good game.
So, what is? I'm sorry, you gotta forgive me, but like I'm looking at Warframe on PlayStation Network, and like,
Mhm.
what is the? I see the game, but what is all of this other stuff?
So, like, what kind of stuff are you looking at?
I see just platinum. It's just called platinum, which I'm assuming is a currency.
That is an in-game. That's a currency that you spend real money on. There's a way to get platinum in the game as well, but the easiest way to get platinum is to
Throw money at
spend
it.
real money on that, and you can buy blueprints for weapons. You can buy blueprints for new warframes.
You buy new Warframes.
You can buy new warframes with platinum. Then there's another currency. I don't remember what it is. I cannot remember what the name of it is.
Credits, I think.
Credits, yes, it is credits that you use to buy blueprints for weapons as well. So if you spend actual money, I think you get the weapon faster than just buying the blueprint where you have to then wait like 12 or 24 or 48 hours to craft that weapon.
Okay.
With Warframe, what it does for me is it scratches that Monster Hunter itch of going out, getting a bunch of loot, coming back, and building the things you want with that loot that you've gotten in the game.
Okay.
And instead of a fantasy setting against giant monsters, it's set in a science fiction space ninja setting. So.
Okay. I think the thing that gets me is like there's not a way to just buy all the characters.
Well, I mean, you could, but it would cost you a lot of money.
So you buy the in-game currency and then use the in-game currency to buy
the characters.
The characters. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Or
it's like a pachinko parlor.
it gets much worse, Shannon.
Okay.
Because if you want the primes, you have to go onto the website and pay money up front instead of getting credits.
I see like this Prime Unsealed box, whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Nova.
That's this. Every month they have a different Prime model. So it's like, all right, how much do I want to pay for this month's special? And it's usually 50 or $60.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll have a special where you can pay like 80 and get two of them at once.
Wow.
And the primes are generally a lot cooler looking and a lot better.
It's true. They do have better stats than the regular versions of those warframes.
And they come with way better gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for most of that stuff, I don't know that it's for everything. There is a way in the game to get all of that stuff.
Yeah, you can even get the primes in there. It's a real hassle, though.
It's going to take a lot of work to get them, but you could, in theory, play through that entire game and get everything that you would want without ever spending $1.
Okay.
So, and to this point on Warframe, I haven't spent any money. I thought about it. I thought about it hard this week, but I didn't do it. I spent that money on Brawlhalla.
Well, I mean, this way you spend it on something you and your kid can enjoy instead of just you.
Exactly. I have found playing Brawlhalla, if I play 1v1s, you can play like regular Smash style matches where you play 4 players, 3 stocks, or 4 players with a time limit, and the person with the most points due to knockouts wins the match. I like the ranked 1v1 and 2v2 stuff. I've found I'm not nearly as good 1v1 as I am playing 2v2s with Jake. I'm good enough to hold my own and get a couple of knockouts in 2v2, but he does most of the work. I'll be honest. But we have fun doing it, and I think that's the most important thing. So
Exactly.
it doesn't hurt that the game. I think the game is really good. So I like the speed of it. I like the movement of that. I like it's less random than Smash. There's not as much just weird randomness going on. You're limited to 3 or 4 different types of items that they drop. Like there's a bomb that you can just throw. There's a mine that you can drop on different parts of the stage. There are spiked balls that you can throw at opponents and do damage. But the main focus of it is really getting the weapons, and each character has 2 weapons that they have. And it cycles back and forth between those. Every once in a while, you'll see this like glowing sword appear on the screen, and you can go over there and pick up a weapon, and it'll be one of your 2 weapons that you have. Like my main Queen Nai has spears, and then what are called katars, which are basically just like these giant hand knives. They're almost like claws, really. And if whichever weapon you pick up first, the next time you would pick up a weapon, it would be the other one. They just rotate back and forth. So there's a little bit of strategy about determining which weapon you want at which point in a match and things like that. So that's why I think I gravitate more towards this than I do Smash. With Smash, for me, the focus is more on the nostalgia of that game and seeing all the stuff that I've been, seeing in video games for 30 years. And that's the appeal of a game like Smash, whereas I prefer the fighting system in Brawlhalla to the fighting system in Smash Brothers.
That's fair.
So
Smash isn't for everyone.
It's not.
And for everyone
Blasphemy.
else, and for everyone whose Smash isn't for, they are very, very wrong.
I'll accept that. I mean, I realize I'm in the minority in that opinion, but
No, I just like challenge modes in Smash, really, myself.
But that's all that I have been playing. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll hit some of these news stories. Would either of you guys like to get a free copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
The bad one?
I'm kind of behind on my Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag.
No, Unity was the bad one.
Okay.
Odyssey is the most recent Assassin's Creed game.
Okay.
And if you would like to get a copy of it for free on PC, you could potentially do that by signing up for Project Stream, which is Google's game streaming service that they are currently testing.
Huh.
Okay. If you sign up for this, and I signed up for it today, basically what you do, you go to the website and you sign up for an invite, and if they choose you, they'll send you an invite, and you can get into this game streaming service. You have to have the most recent, or one of the most recent Google Chrome browsers.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have, obviously, keyboard and mouse to control the game.
Game breaker.
You have, yeah. I only use touchscreens. Sorry, no. A Uplay account and a Google account are also required.
I have all 3 of those, 5 of those.
So, and then they recommend 25 megabit internet.
So
Speeds.
I'm very curious, what version? I know it's PC, but are they giving you like a DRM Steam? Is it tied for Windows 10? How
It's going to be a Uplay version of the game.
Okay. Darn.
So
Yeah, that's the big downside.
you have to have Uplay.
Yep.
So yeah, but Ubisoft is giving away, and currently the streaming service only works with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's the first game they're using to test it. But Ubisoft is giving you a copy of the game for free if you are one of the participants in this test. During the testing period, which lasts through January 15th, they will give you a copy of the game, and then if you spend at least 1 hour playing it in Project Stream before the end of the test, they'll give you a free full copy of the game that's linked to your Uplay account.
I could knock that out within an hour.
You could. They're also offering not 1,000 Helix credits in the
Fit
game,
1,000 fake money. Got it.
1,000 fake money for the test period. That is good for the test period only. So it wouldn't carry over to the full version of the game that would be linked to your Uplay account. However,
that just means you got to spend them.
it does, and if you spend them, anything that you buy during the test period will carry over to your Uplay account.
Cool.
So
Interesting.
you wouldn't lose any of that. Plus, your game save would carry over as well. So if you're interested, you can sign up for this. They are sending out invites over the next few days. I signed up. My computer doesn't really run games very well, but I'm interested in testing this out to see if to see how it does on my computer.
I don't think it's going to do very well.
It's probably not going to do very well, but I'm curious to see. So if I get signed up for it, I'll let you guys know how that works out. But there you go. If you want a free copy of it, all you have to do is test out a game streaming service. It's that simple. If you are someone who is in the market for an NES or an SNES Classic, get one while you can.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this week, according to an interview with Hollywood Reporter, Reggie was talking about the systems. And he said, we worked very hard both for the NES and SNES Classic to really have the best games that define those generations. We've said that the current systems are the extent of our Classic program, so they're saying no N64 Classic, no GameCube Classic, no Game Boy Classics, none of that. This is it. We've also been clear that, at least from an America's perspective, these products are going to be available through the holiday season, and once they sell out, they're gone, and that's it. The way that consumers will be able to continue participating with our classic content is going through Nintendo Switch Online, and we just released 3 new games from the NES onto that platform. We look at that as the main way that consumers will be able to experience that legacy content.
In the worst way possible.
So, if you want an NES or SNES Classic, you better get one while you can, because according to Nintendo, that is it. They are not going to be putting them out again once they sell out. So,
I wonder if we can expect to have Super Nintendo games on Switch at some point.
gosh, I hope so.
Or Game Boy, or Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced. Virtual
Bring back
Boy.
the Virtual Console, please, Nintendo. Or just put that whole library out there so that we can play those games.
Nintendo 64. GameCube.
GameCube.
I'll even settle for Wii and Wii U games.
I think everyone who owns a Switch at this point owns a GameCube controller, just because you can't go to Walmart without seeing those Switch GameCube controller knockoff things.
Mm-hmm.
They were all focused around Smash, but it would be so easy to just dump the library on the eShop.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that GameCube games already run on the system, or could run on the system.
Oh, they could run on the Wii U, so there's no reason for them not run on Switch, right?
Well, I mean, there's been some of this. There was that thing over in China, I think, that was basically a Switch that was running GameCube games. I mean, it wasn't a Switch. It was like the NVIDIA Shield or whatever. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, that thing.
But that architecture is very similar to the Switch. So, in theory, those games should work on the Switch, or would work with a little bit of, tinkering.
Yeah, but Nintendo doesn't plan to give us that option over here in the States, or in Japan, or anywhere else.
Good grief, I wish they would.
Like that portable Nintendo 64 thing in China only. I forget what it's called. It had the weird Spanish-sounding name, IQ or something, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
Those are pretty interesting little things. That's the only way you can get the Chinese version of Zelda 64. Uh,
Like, I'm very curious to know if Nintendo said, you know what, GameCube games, N64 games, they're now going to be available through the NES or the Switch Online service. How many people would say that immediately makes that service more appealing to them?
a lot.
Like, NES and SNES games, those are great, but we've played those 100 times on 100 different platforms at this point.
Even on non Nintendo systems.
Yeah. Um, but a lot of those GameCube games haven't been available since the GameCube. So a lot of people would.
Man, Mario Kart Double Dash? People would pay good money to play that on another system.
No kidding. No kidding. That was a game my family played a ton of on the GameCube back when when that system was out.
Are we at the point where there's a whole generation that doesn't understand why Mario has the water gun on his back in Smash yet?
Maybe, I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know. So, but it is interesting that they did also say that the only way to continue participating with classic content is going to be through Nintendo Switch Online, which means there's probably not going to be any sort of virtual console or way to get those games on the Switch outside of that app. So, and speaking of that, he mentioned in that little blurb there, they added 3 new games to the service here in December. And I sent a message to Ethan. I said, my Switch library is complete now. I have Wario's Woods.
He did
So,
say that. I didn't question. I said okay.
I don't need to buy another game on the Switch. I have Wario's Woods, a game that I will never ever play. So, but then the other 2 games that came to that service this week were The Adventures of Lolo, which is a fantastic little puzzle game I absolutely love, and the original Ninja Gaiden.
A very tough game.
Very hard. After the first level, it's very hard. I can fly through that first level pretty easy, but after that, things get a little difficult. Then they also added 2 special versions of games, and these are versions of the games that come with a lot of content already unlocked. Like the Legend of Zelda special version gave you the blue tunic, the white sword, I think a bunch of extra heart containers already.
Yes. I think you started with 6 of them right from the
I think so.
start.
To make the game a little easier. It dropped you right in the beginning of the game, but you had some of that extra stuff unlocked.
You had the level 2 sword and some other cool stuff.
But the 2 special games they added this month were Dr. Mario, which puts you pretty far into the single player sort of.
Well, that's weird. I mean, that's just throwing you more into a challenge, isn't it?
It is. It makes the game much more challenging, I think, for anybody. I didn't see anything that made that any easier, but then also Metroid was the other one that they added.
Ooh.
And you start with I wish Shelby was here because he'd know what suit it was. But you start with one of the suits that you get later in the game. I think Ice Beam.
All kinds of cool stuff.
5 of the health containers in that, so
really
you have a lot of health to start off that game with. Cool. And then morph ball, screw attack.
I really like that they're doing this stuff because games used to be really hard.
They did.
It's making these hard old games accessible for a new audience.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see what other special versions of these games they put out. It does I think if they put out a bunch of them, it is going to start to clutter up the interface a little bit and give you a lot of duplicates because it doesn't change anything with the original version. It doesn't, say, when you click on, say, Dr. Mario, it doesn't say, do you want to start the regular or the special version? You have two different sets of box art there, the regular one and then one with their special stamp. So, and you can move those icons around a little bit in the app, but there's going to need to be a way to start to organize that stuff once that library starts to get really big. But there you go. That is the 3 other titles that have been added to the Nintendo Switch Online. I played a little bit of Adventures of Lolo this week. Would have deleted Wario's Woods if I could, but can't do that.
Not yet, anyway.
I'm mean to that game, I know. But and then one just thing I thought was rather interesting this week. Nintendo, not this part's not necessarily interesting, but Nintendo announced that they're suing a man for selling NES and NES Classic and Nintendo Switch systems that have pirated software on them. Makes sense. Of course, they're going to do that. But in the legal documentation, there was one line that caught some people's attention, and that is that the eShop name may be changing soon. Because there's one line in this document that says Nintendo Switch users can purchase games either digitally from the official Nintendo Switch online shop, formerly Nintendo eShop in parentheses, or as physical copies. So that seems like an interesting bit of wording to have in a legal document if that's not actually going to happen soon.
You know what that scares me about, though?
What?
If they're killing that eShop branding, does that mean they're killing the 3DS access to a digital storefront? Because if they're changing it to Nintendo Switch Online Shop, it's not like 3DS is going to access that.
Or the Wii U.
Or the Wii U.
I would think there still have to be a way for people to access those stores.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do about that.
Whether it's just a change on the Switch and it's just the Switch name, or maybe it's referring to an app version of the eShop. I don't know. But with that formerly Nintendo eShop wording, it makes me think that they're going to be completely changing the name of that storefront. But yeah, I wouldn't think, because 3DS and Wii U are not mentioned in this, the eShop name may stay for those services while they're still, accessible. And then once those stores get shut down, the eShop name just goes away.
I could see that happening.
We're still probably 2 or 3 years, I would think, at least, from those stores going away.
I hope so.
It will happen at some point, but I'm hoping, especially with the DS, because Nintendo's still supporting the DS in some fashion with a few games coming out in 2019.
DS or 3DS?
3DS. Did I say DS?
Yes.
Okay, we just call it the DS in my house. We don't call it the 3DS, so I slip up every once in a while calling it the wrong thing. But yeah, I would think, because they're still supporting that, I could see the Wii U eShop closing before the 3DS eShop.
I'm honestly surprised it's still open.
So, I sort of am too. It's like they want to completely erase the Wii U from existence. Or at least it seems that way.
Yeah, and then probably 15 years from now, they'll be like, oh, here's that thing y'all all remember.
Here's the Wii U Classic.
It's got a mini little tablet controller. It's like an iPhone with joysticks.
They give you like it's like a PlayStation TV size Wii U, and then they just give you a Game Boy Micro for
Oh, I would love
the
that though.
gamepad. It's that size. There's 4 buttons on it and a tiny screen. So, so there you go. That is the news though for this week. We've got a discussion topic that I think probably will be pretty quick, but we have to talk that Sonic movie. It has been the topic of some discussion cross chat this week. Oh my gosh. What do you guys think of those posters that have come out?
The IGN poster reveal thing, or the actual poster?
We'll hit on all of it, I assume. Was the IGN thing an official?
The IGN was the official reveal
Okay.
of the. It was the black background with the blue blur stuff happening, hits the 3 rings, and then has the bluish silhouette on the screen.
With furry arms.
Furry arms and very muscular legs.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, as fast as he runs, he's gonna have some muscles.
Guy never skipped leg day.
Never. But yeah, his arms are blue.
That was like the first thing people noticed. Also, it doesn't look like he's wearing the gloves.
I noticed that too. He has blue hands, I think. I think in the poster that came out later in the week, you could see his hands.
The we'll stick with the first thing for now.
Okay.
The shoes are this. I hate the shoes. I'm trying to find the image real quick. I'm going to our chat.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up as well. I mean, I don't
Gosh,
know that
Mike
the shoes are really.
says a lot of stuff in the chat.
I don't know that the shoes are really that bad.
They're horrible, Tony. Come on. I mean, look at what his normal shoes are, and then look at those monstrosities.
I mean, they're red sneakers.
Red sneakers. They're not red aerodynamic pieces of art made for running at high speeds.
So, well, okay. What did you think of the poster, Shannon?
I think that I'll probably watch the movie, and I don't know. Like, everybody gets all worked up about it. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a poster. It's a picture of a poster. It's not even like the full poster in full detail. It's a picture of a poster.
So, I'm always one of the first people who are like, you know what? Still images, even movie trailers, you can't judge the final product from promotional images.
Yeah.
But those things, it does look weird. Like Sonic looks very weird in this.
He looks too humanoid.
Maybe that's it.
From the silhouette, yes.
I said this also about the Detective Pikachu movie. Some things work better in animated form than they do in the real world. Once you try to translate that to real world visuals, things kind of get lost in the translation somewhat, I think. Okay, now you got to put the picture of Sonic Chew where people can see it. So
yes,
they can see what we're laughing at.
I knew I'd have to do it. It was worth it.
I think with like the Pokemon movie, it looks interesting enough, but the Pokemon and the people in the real world seem off to me. I'm not exactly sure how to describe what I'm feeling. It seems weird. Like in a cartoon, it works. I'm not sure that translates to a real world setting.
Yeah, it's not like Roger Rabbit or Space Jam.
Yeah, like that I think would have made more sense to try to do.
It's like Don't explain it, just have it happen. And people will question it, just be like, no, that's what happened in the movie. Get over it. But instead, we have this conversion to real life. And it
And
doesn't look right.
some things that work in an animated form lose something. I'll probably go see this Sonic movie, or I don't know that I'll go to the movie theater and see it, but I'll watch it once it comes to streaming services. Um, I will probably watch Detective Pikachu too. I want to give those movies a chance. Um, I'm not gonna just judge it and say the movie's gonna be awful, even though it may be great, it may be awful. I don't know. I want to at least give it a chance to impress me. Um, but the second poster, that was the one that just looks really weird to me.
The
The
Golden
one,
Gate Bridge?
the one of the Golden Gate Bridge, and you just see his legs. Like
Yeah, just
those
even
do
that
not look like Sonic's legs.
they do not, and that angle is really weird as well. It doesn't give you a perspective of how tall or anything he's supposed to be, so it's like the only uh, conclusion is thinking human size, and even still, that angle is very weird for review, and the leg length and everything. It's like, why?
Yeah, I'm thinking he looks like he's probably somewhere between knee height and waist height on an average human.
Yes, on that third poster, or I guess it was a poster that was revealed. There's the where Tim and the cop are sitting on, like the cop's resting on the hood of the vehicle, and he's on the roof of it, and he's
Mm,
about knee to waist height,
yeah.
give or take.
And what is the deal with both of the live action video game movies having to do with the police? Like Sonic's hanging out with the policeman, Pikachu's a detective.
Well, police kind of points to justice.
I don't know where you're going with that one.
Ace Attorney film 2021.
Hey, we've already gotten one of those.
Yeah, it was a good movie, man.
Ace Attorney 2 2021.
I don't know how good the Ace Attorney movie was. Was it any good, Ethan?
It was. It covered the game content very well. That's all I can say about it.
Well, I'm really very curious to see what's going to happen with the Mario movie. Like, how are they going to go visually with that movie?
John Leguizamo playing Luigi.
I mean, he needs to be in the movie in some form.
Just a cameo.
So,
He shows up in the old plumber outfit. That would be great.
man, I wish they would make that canon and put that in games. Like that, the outfit, the plumber outfit from that movie was not bad. I will give it that. I like that outfit. It works in some context. But man, I'm not gonna say I'm cautiously optimistic about this Sonic movie, but I'm cautiously gonna give it a chance. I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that one.
That third poster thing or whatever, where we get to see his face. I think he's missing some attitude there.
He's just chilling.
Yeah, but he's missing the attitude.
Give him a chili dog. He'll get some tude.
Yeah, but I don't see the gloves. You can't see his hands. I thought you could.
You can only see him in that first one with the silhouette, and
You
really
can't make
tell.
out whether he's wearing gloves or not.
Yeah. And then the third one, or that third reveal, which is supposed to be like an early reveal, like I think they said they changed actors or something since then. It looks like he's got his feet on the cop's head.
It does, yes. So,
And maybe I don't know if it's the lighting, but it looks like he's got a patch of white in the middle of his brow.
I think that's probably just like a reflection or a weird thing with the lighting.
Sure hope so. It'd be weird if they ruined that too.
His eyes are supposed to be connected in the middle.
Right?
So, but yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. The first posters and the first looks at the visuals for Sonic were revealed this week, and one of the screenwriters saw the reaction on Twitter, and he went on Twitter. He posted 2 words: "Everybody relax." People didn't really like that, I don't think. He got a lot of nasty responses to that message.
Oh yeah, it's the internet. What do you expect will happen?
That's true.
It show us what he's gonna look like, so we can continue to be mad about it. Give us a preview of what the movie's gonna have happening, so we can be like, okay, we're good with that, or we can hate it, or 50-50. It's like, do we need to sharpen our pitchforks and light the torches now, or wait? Because I'm pretty sure people have already sharpened theirs and been throwing them at Sega or Hollywood or whoever's doing this one. I want to know what Sega thinks about this, or Sonic Team for that matter.
I'm pretty sure Sega has to sign off on all of this.
Oh my gosh! I wonder what Sonic Team thinks about it.
So, I don't know that they're going to say much. But that does lead us into our listener feedback this week. And our first question comes from Cole, who says, if there truly is going to be a live-action Sonic movie, who would you like to do the voice of Sonic? Just for reference, in this movie, Sonic is voiced by Ben Schwartz, who I know from The Office. Not The Office, sorry. Parks and Recreation.
Yes, Parks and Recs.
Sorry, he played John Ralphio in Parks and Rec.
Probably one of the worst characters to remember him by.
But that's all I remember him from. And then Jim Carrey is the voice of Dr. is Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, he is Robotnik.
So, but if you could choose who the voice of Sonic would be, who would you pick?
Ryan Reynolds.
He's already taken.
And don't you dare try to say Danny DeVito.
I was gonna say Danny DeVito.
See, I couldn't even spit it out without laughing. I was starting to crack up.
Ryan Reynolds should be the voice of Sonic, and then we have Detective Pikachu and Sonic crossover. He's the voice of everybody in the movie.
Then you have kind of like an Eddie Murphy thing happening.
And then Deadpool shows up. So, no. Jaleel White would be a good choice for the voice of Sonic.
Roger Craig Smith did the voice of Sonic in the Wreck-It Ralph. Or
for the one line that he had?
He had like a couple lines in the one I just saw, Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Okay.
And he did a good job. I couldn't tell it wasn't I couldn't tell. I was like, yeah, that's Sonic. That sounds like him and everything to me.
He sounded the way you expect Sonic to sound?
Sounded like Sonic should sound, yes.
Like, have we heard anything about the way Sonic sounds in this, or have we just now seen stuff? We haven't actually heard anything.
We have not heard anything as far as I know.
Okay.
I mean, we could ask Ben, but I doubt he'd let us know. So, I doubt he'd even look at the tweet.
That's probably true. So yeah, I mean,
other known Sonic voice actors, Urkel.
Yeah, Jaleel White.
Yes, that person. He did an alright job as far as I know. I'd probably pick, if I had to pick someone other than the two I just mentioned, I'd go with probably Jason Griffith, because he did Sonic X, and that required probably a ton more lines than the original ABC Sonic stuff.
Was Sonic X the one with like the
little... anime?
Okay. What was the one with the other hedgehog characters?
You mean Sonic Underground?
Yes, that one.
That was what's his name again? Urkel.
Was it?
Yes. In fact,
I'm on IMDb right now. It says Sam Vincent did the voice of Sonic in that.
really?
Yeah.
Let's see, what year was this?
99 is when that one came out.
Sonic Underground. He did the voice of Sonic, Sonya.
Jaleel White was the voice of Manic in Sonic Underground. Who was that the Green Hedgehog?
The brother, I guess. It's
Yeah.
showing him as credit on all three characters, though. That's weird.
I don't know.
But he did the. I'm pretty sure he did the original he was the original voice of Sonic for the Saturday morning ABC.
Yes, he was.
So I don't see a reason why he wouldn't voice Sonic on another Sonic the Hedgehog show.
I don't know.
Unless he just wasn't fast enough.
Well, yeah. Those suspenders slowed him down a little bit. He was always getting him snagged on things. No, that's going to be the show for this week. So, thank you, Shannon, for being on the show.
Pleasure as always.
And Ethan, thank you as well.
Gotta go fast. Ish.
If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.